We're still very early on in the Rosetta process, but I have to say, Aurora feels pretty sweet. Her ability to throw breakpoints with potential on-hit effects pretty much every turn could make her a serious contender. There are 2 cards from Rosetta that Aurora is really looking to abuse. The first one is Arc Lightning, her specialization. This lets us still split arcane damage and give something go again. The next one is Channel Lightning Valley, which gives us the ability to draw an extra card each turn cycle. Now, when we pair Arc Lightning and Channel Lightning Valley, it makes it very difficult for our opponent to block the split arcane damage and our breakpoint 0 for 4 attacks that we have. So it's making it very easy for us to draw extra cards and keep our channel around while fueling our arsenal. Keep in mind, we are playing against Azalea, and Azalea has been known to be the aggro destroyer from meta to meta with cards like Red in the Ledger and Remorseless. So we need to make sure that we're on our toes and we're blocking efficiently and looking for our chances. Thanks for stopping by, guys. I hope you enjoy the match. Okay, we're playing against Azalea. I think the best thing we might be able to do is to play Sizzle, play Entwine Lightning fusing, and then we can throw Starfall and activate Aurora and arsenal the Static Shock. That seems like a pretty good plan here, I think. Because we get to come in for 7 go again, and then it's 2 more, and then we get to arsenal. Getting 2 Red in the Ledgers out of their hand is pretty nice here. Have to say that feels pretty good. Now, my opponent's probably pretty happy with that as well. Red in the Ledger is not something you want in your hand. It's something you want, to like rip off the top, or something like that. So not exactly what they want to see, I'm sure, but okay, hopefully they can't put together a super crazy turn because my hand's looking pretty solid. We have Sizzle that we can pair together with a couple of Static Shocks, and we have an E-Strike here to really put on some pressure. So this is currently going to be for 8. I'm assuming, okay, they're using Cross Wrap right now. Okay. So I'm curious to see how they opt. Currently, this is going to be 8, potentially more. Remorseless is very good and does help them race us quite a bit, but it's not something I'm not super terrified of that, to be honest. Like, Remorseless this early in the game isn't that backbreaking for us. I mean, if I take 11 and go to 29, I would then be going to 28, 27, 26, and then my turn would be 7 on hit deal and arcane, 2, 4 on hit deal and arcane. So we have a 4-card, 15-point setting up another thing. I think this is okay. I think this hand is okay. There's also always the world where like we could attempt to like make E-Strike work here. I think I would rather set up E-Strike for next turn. So this is 7 go again on hit 1 arcane. We deal an arcane damage to them, which they can block. I was like, I assume my opponent's not going to. It seems like a pretty bad move on their part, in my opinion. And then we get to throw Static Shock for 4, which is 4 on hit deal and arcane. And we get to set up this for next turn. So we've now retaken the lead here just by a couple of points and set up an arsenal. Our Azalea opponent was not on an arsenal, which is very fortunate for us. Okay. Okay, this is looking pretty good. So I think what we're going to do is lead on the Arc Lightning. Now, obviously, all of this kind of comes with a grain of salt because our opponent's turn could change at any time. We have all action cards. Yeah, this is action cards, right? Action, action, action. Yeah, we're good here. Now, I definitely understand why they might want this into us, but so the inertia is probably not going to matter because we're going to go E-Strike, put this on the bottom, I think. Put current funnel on the bottom to draw a card after playing Arc Lightning. Yeah, I think we're just going to go to 17 here. Now, they do get to know the contents of our hand, so it gives our opponent a lot of information. Battering Bolt, even when it doesn't hit, still gets a lot of value and does do very powerful things. Okay. So Arc Lightning, deal a damage to them, put them to 23. We're going to go E-Strike, naming, draw a card. So this is 5 go again. And then in the resolution step, we get to deal an arcane damage to them because of Arc Lightning. We have a couple of options here. We can go Shockwave, fuse here, snap into 7, which is the first line that I see, which is worth 12 points. Or I have played a lightning card. We'll tell our opponent we're thinking here. Or I've played a lightning card. We could go Starfall. I just don't see there being a better line than throwing this. This is what feels like a pretty lackluster use of snaps, to be honest, but I think it's okay. So this is 4. We deal a damage to them because of the go again. And then we get to, let's see, this would be 3. This would be 4, 5, or it's just 7. Yeah, 7's just the best thing we can do, putting them down to 4 here if they decide to take it all, which is a pretty good place for us to be because we have our opponent at 4, and then we have all of our equipment available to us. I mean, to be honest, an ideal situation for us would be that we can just keep every card in our hand. Because our hand is play Weave Lightning, pitch Command and Conquer to play Magnetism, and then play this as an instant pretty much even if they block it out. Even if they don't block it out, I mean, I guess even if they do block it out, we just Arsenal this, right? So 10. Yeah, I think this is fine. We kind of have to go to 7 and hope that we can do something here. They're going to be able to reload no matter what happens because they have bullseye bracers. So blocking this out could go a long way, but it's not guaranteed to go a long way. The other thing we have to consider is that we're at a virtual 3. So if we're forced to block with 1 card, then we're forced to block with 1 card. Yeah, not having a single blue in this hand is a little awkward. Also, this hand doesn't really function super cleanly. Okay, our opponent's thinking about what they want to reload here. Man, this has just been a straight race. What is it, turn 3? Okay. We could bottom something here. Honestly, I think we're supposed to bottom the Command and Conquer. So block 3, take 4, go to 3, and then if we don't get them with our play, we're just dead. So how does drawing the Arc Lightning change our hand? Like, how does that change the landscape of our hand? This is a tough decision. This blocks 3, which is kind of nice, because they can still block arcane damage, but it's possible we're just supposed to play to get them here. Like, oh man, this is such an awkward hand. I can't take 7, but I can block with all of my equipment and try to kill them if it's possible here. I could play this, deal an arcane damage, play this, deal an arcane damage, and then pitch Burn Up and Shock to play Magnetism for 8. Be 8, no go again. The other option we have here is just to block 8. I don't really think that's an option. I mean, we get to come in for 8 here. Yeah, I think that has to be the play. It's unfortunate, but I think this is it right here. Ooh, I'm also curious to know how this works. Because technically that's a non-attack action. How the whole burn up and shock thing works with Battering Bolt. That's a neat interaction. That could be really cool. Okay, so man, if we had ripped into a blue, we could add on another damage here. I have technically played a lightning card, which means this is for 2 go again. Or I'm sorry, for 5 go again. So technically our turn is for 10 points. Actually, so our hand was a lot better than I thought it was. Why is this for 5? I think this is reading this as Sizzle and not... I think Starfall's being read, like, is reading Weave Lightning as Sizzle. The next attack action card, yeah. So that's definitely not coming across correctly with the damage break there. Yeah, I don't know. That's super interesting. We fall down to 2, but they only get to keep 2 cards here. And they do go to 1, which means if we're able to keep a blue this turn, we win the game. If one of these was a 3 block, man. If one of those was a 3 block. So we block 7, stay at 2. Because if I block 5, I die. That or I need one of these to not be an instant. Man. That is very unfortunate for us. I think I'm going to take a card out of their hand, though. I think we're supposed to. I think I'm supposed to take a card out of their hand. Maybe it's correct to just make a Runeshan and pass. I don't think so, though, because, like, literally we need one hand where we can keep a blue, or we can just draw the Sigil of Suffering. Man, am I good at this game or what? Oh, obviously I'm joking, but we get to put this in here, and then they attack us for 8. I mean, we might as well. And then the Sigil of Suffering actually wins us the game, just off the rip right there. Better lucky than good, I guess. On my opponent's first turn of the game, they throw a Remorseless for 11 at us. And don't get me wrong, Remorseless can be pretty bad for us as an aggro deck who's looking to take multiple actions in a turn. But we had a 15-point hand that would still allow us to Arsenal. And if we're going to take the damage from Remorseless, we need to be taking it early in the game. On turn 4, I think Weave Lightning may not be coded correctly on Talishar just because it read Weave Lightning on my Starfall. So Starfall was a 1 for 5, and then I had another 1 for 5 in my hand. And my turn should have been 2 go again into 8. Now, for the purposes of the game, Azalea blocking, that's pretty much the same. 5 and 5 versus 8 and 2 isn't really any different. It kind of lines up exactly the same with 2 blocks and 3 blocks in their hand. Ripping the Sigil of Suffering at the end of the game was pure luck. Now, we did put it in the deck for that reason, but ripping it right there was very lucky and very fortunate on our part because we ended up having a hand that didn't block efficiently the turn before that, and we were only able to keep 1 card to throw the Starfall with, which was pretty awkward and gave our opponent all the tempo, so Sigil of Suffering really bailed us out. The big thing I want to point out is that we barely won this game, and they never even threw Red in the Ledger at us. Red in the Ledger can really punish Aurora because you have a lot of hands with instants where you're not able to block and things are really awkward, and if you get caught with one of those hands against a Red in the Ledger, you might just lose the game on the spot. The other thing I want to talk about is that I did play about 4 games against my Azalea opponent, and I think we went 2-2 on the game, so Looks to be a pretty interesting matchup as we're moving into Rosetta. Guys, if you see anything you think I missed, let me know in the comments down below. I'd love to hear about it. If you enjoyed the video, be sure to like and subscribe for more content. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you next time. Take it easy, guys.